Very recently, Mom Shagger 420 released the honest thoughts on the very best of the worst of Thomas and Friends. If you don't already know, the series stars our Percy CRC, I totally just butchered his name, Thomas and Tugsman, Heisel Productions, and others, talking about various Thomas releases and giving their thoughts on them. And in this new video, they challenge you to make your own ranking and give your thoughts. And my response to that is challenge accepted, so let's just get right into it. Subscribe to Mom Shagger 420 and all the guests in the series, and also subscribe to me, because we really could use them. I'm trying to get to 1,000 people. Help me, please. So getting into their ranking, in dead last place, we have First Class Stories. Now, in no uncertain terms, I give it a 1 out of 10. Heisel put it best. It is one of the most pathetic, it is the most pathetic excuse you could have possibly put together for a 70th anniversary celebration. The classic episodes, if you added at least one episode from seasons 2, 5, and 7 each, then I would have picked all those classic episodes. But the lack of any hit era representation, the overuse on nitrogen episodes, even if they picked some of the more frustratingly not crap ones like Snow Tracks and Edward the Hero and Percy and the Calliope, that wouldn't have been picked if it didn't play the classic theme. The Brenner era episodes are good, but the ones they chose for here, again, just aren't the greatest. To me, I would have done on at least one episode from all the classic seasons, couple of hit era, couple of 3 nitrogen, and the rest Brenner eras, but this got me to appreciate Greatest Stories more. While the Greatest Stories is not the greatest, the episodes are for the most part decent. It's just a letdown in the title. First Class Stories is just, they should have called it Kill Me First Stories. At number 11, I think, we have Steamies versus Diesels. Thomas to the Rescue is a great episode. Henry and the Wishing Tree is hit and miss. The pacing is good, the music is good. Henry forgetting how to pull passengers is stupid, even if the moral of be careful what you wish for was good. But I don't know. The sound song is great. The learning segments, although dull, aren't as whatchamacallit, condescending as later ones. And Percy's New Whistle's shit, while Squeak, Rattle, and Roll is great. But the lack of, episodes and the fact that almost none of these pertain to the title just brings it all down. Percy Saves the Day is next up, and it is the worst of season 7. The old bridge, look, I don't care if it has a good moral. Skarloey is out of character. That's what matters. And if the core element is fucked, then the surface level good parts don't matter. And about this thing of, we shouldn't blame it for Skarloey's downfall in the hit era. Well, we blame season 6 for being the season modeled for the hit era with the Writer's Bible, so we're blaming the old bridge for Skarloey's downfall. What's the matter with Henry is just needlessly mean-spirited. For all the shit I just gave the old bridge, it only had one big problem that killed the episode. What's the matter with Henry is mean-spirited. I just can't say anything more. And Trusty Rusty, it's not bad simply because of character development. The main other wrinkle in the story is the fact that Duncan's driver is told that at this bridge is dangerous, and he removes the sign and goes on the bridge anyways? What? Okay. But Percy Gets It Right is great, so is Something Fishy, and Bill, Ben, and Fergus, and There Once Was an Engine Who Ran Away is a bop too. Next on the list we have Rusty Saves the Day, the Australian release. Now, I just realized I skipped this. I give both Percy Saves the Day and Steamies vs. Diesels 6 out of 10s. And I give Rusty Saves the Day a 6 out of 10 too. Because, like Percy Saves the Day, it features the absolute worst episodes of Season 6, all on one disc. Buffer Bother, Edward the Very Useful Engine, and Rusty Saves the Day. But it has genuine strengths. Like, It's Only Snow is great, the pack episodes are great, Gordon Takes a Tumble, Toby Had a Little Lamb, but what brings it down is, the fact that 2 season 7 episodes are included, which Angelus's narration is just really jarring, seeing him go from energetic to dull and bedtime story-ish in the next episode, and the 4:3 letterbox ratio, whatever you want to call it, just instantly kills it. For as shit as some of the Season 6 US releases may be seen simply because of Baldwin's narration, at least the 4:3 aspect ratio, to me, just helps make it clear that these US releases are aware and sure of what they want to be. Just simple retro vibes. So Percy Saves the Day also gets a 6 out of 10. Next up is James and the Red Balloon. Now, this features 2 of the worst episodes from Season 6, Edward the Very Useful Engine and Percy Saves the Day. But the strengths are high. James and the Red Balloon is stupid, but it's a fun Thomas and James story, and we accept Thomas and the rumors because they believe one helicopter can replace them. How is a hot air balloon any different? And the theme is just magical. Twin Trouble is sweet and wholesome, even if Baldwin's narration in it is an all-time low. Oh, The World's Strongest Engine is my favorite episode in Season 6, and honestly, seeing Henry pull 20 trucks, it's like watching your child all grown up. How can I not find it adorable? And Duncan is predictable, but instead of, going a home at last direction rock and roll direction where they just go all sweet, Duncan just takes a plain, funny ending with the crash is awesome. So, I give it a 7 out of 10. It features the worst of Season 6, but is able to bring 2 of the best ones to compensate. Also with only one good one, James and the Red Balloon, and a decent one, Duncan. 2 greats, 1 good, 1 decent, 2 shit. It's fine. I give it a 7 out of 10. Next up on the list is Thomas's Snowy Surprise, and although it falls flat in the Season 6 paradigm because only half the episodes are from 6, they're all good in some way. It's Only Snow is a good character building episode for Thomas, showing that he's still got that hot-headed, irritable edge, but will put others first. Season 5 to 6 Thomas's peak. Eek. Jack Frost is just fun on as hell. Like, Percy and James's dynamic is at its peak here, and just the ending of Percy being like, yeah, he also knows you ran away, shows that Percy wasn't a complete dumbass in Season 6, and the spooky winter atmosphere is always appreciated. Toby Had a Little Lamp. Just look at Stebney Bulstrode Music on Twitter. He explains it all. Snow is amazing. The last 2 Carlin episodes are great. I give Thomas' Snowy Surprise an 8 out of 10. We are getting there. Makes Someone Happy, despite being the worst Season 5 release, is still great. I don't have much to say about the episodes. They're all just wholesome fun. A big surprise for Percy has a genuinely kind of life-threatening runaway that I love. I just prefer high stakes in Thomas. And James and the Trouble with Trees, it's the perfect mix of realistic and character building, if that makes sense. Thomas and the Rumors, we talked about it earlier. I think it's good. Even if Red Balloon is also good. I don't have much to say about Make Someone Happy, to be honest. It's just good. Just making it into the top 5, we have New Friends for Thomas. Now, Michael Angelus's narration is really good here, and honestly, but I will say one thing. For the pack episodes, I prefer the UK dubs. Angelus's US narration is just a bit too jarring for me to get into. Although, for the first 4 episodes, the US Angelus dubs, those are the definitive versions of the stories I go back to. Spotless Record is the only one I have a chip on my shoulder with, purely for how immature and just plain out of character Thomas is, and how all his character development is thrown out the window because, to quote James A. Williams, cheeky little engine. Oh my god. But yeah, uh, I'm gonna give scores for these at the end, but yeah, New Friends with Thomas I recommend. Percy's Chocolate Crunch is up next, and my god, it is the most pure, most nostalgic, most just plain fun release. Baldwin's narration it's very charming, and it has this calming feeling like Baldwin. It feels like Baldwin's on my side with the narration. It feels like he's with me, compared to Brandon in season 7, where it feels like he's trying to get me to, not trying to get me to go screaming out of the studio. So that was a joke. But yeah, Percy's Chocolate Crunch is, think of Put Upon Percy, but it takes a more goofy comedic spin. The intro is dragged out, but only 10 seconds more than Middle Engine. It's not as bad as the Hit era ones. Thomas, Percy, and the Squeak is, again, how Thomas should be written. It has a bit of a bratty side, but still hardworking and mature. Gordon Takes a Tumble is a classic style of Gordon's story with an amazing crash. But for Bother is just dull at worst. Bill and Ben are in character. They argue about petty shit, but the story is just dull. Oh, that's all I have to say. Middle Engine is just a bit clunky, but it does, deliver some entertaining stuff with James Ames making fun of Percy and then getting what he deserves. Also, the moment between James and Topham at the sheds was golden. Middle Engine does have positive values. It's just kind of sloppy, and Faulty Whistles is great. Little Engines is a banger. I don't think I've mentioned, but all of the songs on this list so far, besides Winter Wonderland with Snowy Surprise, rock. James Learns a Lesson is up next, and honestly, it's probably the most charming Thomas release. It feels like a storybook. It's not that long. All of the episodes feel like they're building upon each other. Well, it feels like it's 2 storybooks in one. We see James growing, and when his journey is done, Thomas's begins. And honestly, I like James Learns a Lesson. It's just not one I would go back to very frequently, but I can't put it too low. It's charming. I don't know if I would call it essential or not. At number 2, we have The Fog Man. This is where things are really starting to get good. The title episode is 20 years ahead of its time. I was trying to warn us about AI, clearly, and I love it for that alone. We'll get back to No Sleep for Cranky later, but I love it. Salty Secret and Harvey to the Rescue do what they're supposed to do. They're fun character-building stories with good development, albeit a minor hiccup with Edward being out of character in Harvey to the Rescue. A Bad Day for Harold is a good Percy and Harold rivalry story, and The Crash, I like it, although I'm not a fan of how it treats Harold as some lightweight prop toy, whatever you want to call it. Elizabeth the Vintage Lori is such a creative world-building thing between Elizabeth and Topham. Twin Trouble, I talked about earlier, and Gordon Takes a Tumble. And now I know, they said, the host said, we understand the point of No Sleep for Cranky, we just don't like it. No, you actually don't. The humor of No Sleep for Cranky isn't just, laugh at Cranky's suffering. No, it's revolving around how he creates his own problems and how far he goes with to deal with them. He could easily just ignore or Salty or tried to politely ask him to stop talking, but instead he just throws pipes everywhere, and you're supposed to laugh at how he just got himself into this mess and now he has to deal with the consequences. I almost compare it to this Adam Sandler remake right here, where Sandler's character just creates his own problems. Like, in this remake, Paul Crewe is a disgraced NFL quarterback who, when his girlfriend is being a bitch to him, he steals her car, leads police on a high-speed chase, and crashes it. And in the same way you laugh at Cranky's suffering for how he creates his own problems, you're supposed to laugh at Mr. Sandler's character for creating his own problems. That's my take on The Fog Man. It's probably the best season 6 release in the UK. I don't know. I think all the UK season 6 releases are great in their own right, but maybe I'll make a video on that later. At number 1, we have Thomas and the Jet Engine. It's not just the fact that season 7 episodes are played with their original Mike and Junior soundtracks and Michael Brandon's narration. That's a big part of it. Baldwin's narration in season 6 is probably at its best here. And I love Jet Engine. It's an iconic, fun episode. Haunted Mine is decent. Scaredy Engines is wholesome and fun. Harold and the Flying Horse sucks. Bulgy Rides Again is a good character building episode, and Salty Stormy Tale is adventurous and exciting. But I will say one thing, Thomas and Percy are stupid, and Boo Boo Choo Choo is a great song. I love it. So that was the complete ranking for the Best of the Worst of Thomas series. Here are all of the scores I give the releases out of 10. Let me know what you guys think of it and what your rankings would be. This is kind of turning out to be a long video. Jesus Christ. I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe to me, and also subscribe to Mom Shagger 420.